Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to today's episode of Value of Grace Voyage TV. Mariona, as your host, as usual, a very good afternoon to you all. Today we have a wonderful person in our studio and he's going to take us through a lot of things. Just stay tuned as you listen to us. Mister, you're most welcome to our studio. You're going to tell us who you are, every detail about you.
I'll try. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ashiraf than Karamukisa. I am the CEO founder of Peeps Chapatis, fast food restaurant, and I'm also the CEO founder of the Gooseberry Bakery, and also a civil engineer. Yeah. We have our businesses in Mutungo. That's where we are situated. Yeah. That's what I do for a living.
Okay, thank you for that short introduction. Before we go on, today we are going to talk about something very inspiring, something that I believe you all love to listen or to get to know about. I remember one time in our previous interviews, there's someone who said, I saw Mariona in a certain restaurant. So today we are going to talk about that certain restaurant that you saw me from. I hope you are somewhere there listening. So Mr. Ashraf Karamukisa, you're going to tell us about your restaurant. First, I want you to tell me what inspired you.
What inspired me? In Uganda, there is a lot of gaps in the business world. Usually, how you come up with a business idea, you base it off of a problem. When there's a problem, you come up with a solution. So my basis was I realized that the Ugandans love chapatis, but there's no proper brand for chapatis because they had made restaurants for Rolexes like Yuga Roll, restaurants like Rolex Guy. Those ones were basically focusing on the Rolex. Now I realized there was a gap for chapatis, so there was no a brand. There was no brand for chapatis. So I set out to do that, and it's what we are doing now. We are trying to build a brand for chapatis, just like how you can see that there's a lot of chicken on the streets everywhere. Every restaurant sells chicken. There's chicken on the streets, but people still order from KFC because they trust the brand, they like the quality, and they stand out. So we are doing the same. We are trying to do that. Like you see chapatis all over the streets in different restaurants, but we created a brand for chapatis. So high quality chapatis that can be ordered at any time.
Okay. Yeah. You said Peeps Chapatis, stroke a fast food restaurant.
Yes.
So what is Peeps Chapatis all about? And what is the fast foods as well? Because if you talk of only chapatis, is it only chapatis available in the restaurant or there are other things?
We have many other items on the menu, but our focus was mainly on the chapatis. That's why we have a larger menu for chapatis. So we have the chapatis themselves, we have the commando, the chapatis with gravy, chapati with liver, chapati with chicken, all those different varieties. We have Rolexes, the beef Rolex, chicken Rolex, vegetable Rolex. We have all these different varieties of chapatis and other items that truly supplement the chapati are also in the restaurant. We have the pilau, we have white rice, we have chips. So usually someone can order chips, pilau, and chapati. They could order chips chicken with chapati. So we added those items on the menu to supplement the chapati.
Okay. So how was it from the day of you thinking about it up to now that you opened and you're already moving on with it?
Oh. Well, it took time. It took time because I came up with the concepts of the idea in 2018. I like to use we because I don't want to show like as if it was a one-man effort, because business ideas come from different like from different people, different inspiration. So when I say I, it will seem really selfish and quite untrue. But so I'll use mostly we.
It's okay.
So I came up with the concept. We came up with the concept in 2018, and I started by trying out recipes with one friend of mine, a chef. We tried out recipes, and I realized it's a good recipe that could be turned into a brand, and you can easily replicate it to make thousands and thousands of chapatis. Yeah, so I set out to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, but we started that in 2018 with
The
the
idea
idea.
came.
Yes.
Okay. So did you face any challenges in that process?
Yes. Initially, I was single-handedly making the chapatis and supplying them before we set up the restaurant. I was doing that, making the chapatis, supplying them, picking the money, waking up very late at night, like at 3 a.m., and mixing by hand. So it was very difficult work. And then I realized I didn't really have to go through that. I could employ people, I could get machinery. So I wrote a proposal, a business proposal, a detailed one, and set out to look for someone I could work with. And I was lucky I got someone to work with, and we were able to get the machinery that is required to mix the chapatis, the materials, and we started making chapatis. After 2 years, we realized we had to set up business location, the restaurant location.
Okay.
So that's why we went ahead and bought all these kitchen equipment. We booked a location, and here we are.
So it didn't give you hard time.
The challenges were definitely there.
Okay.
Especially at the start, because I didn't know the concepts of business, since I didn't do business at campus.
Okay.
I did civil engineering at MOOC, did that for 4 years and worked for 1 year, and then realized I wanted the freedom that comes with entrepreneurship. Of course, there's also like the freedom to make decisions, your own decisions, the freedom to not have a dress code, to wake up at the time that you want. So that's what I really wanted. But of course, the major goal for an entrepreneur is supposed to be money. You set out to do a business to get money, but of course, there is other benefits like freedom and the ability to make your own decisions. So the money bit came up later, but it was mostly the freedom. Yeah, so the challenges were mostly the hard work that was required at the start before hiring people. I was working a lot, waking up at 3 a.m. every single day, mixing the chapatis by hand, delivering them, coordinating with the clients, and it was tough work. And then also the money. There was an issue of money, raising that much capital to be able to get the necessary kitchen equipment required, and hiring the best workers I could find to execute the idea.
Did you have a hand, maybe like an investor came in to help you, or you did all that, the capital came on your own, something of that sort?
I do not exactly advise people to do things on their own. I am an advocate for partnerships, because in a partnership it's even hard to give up. When you're alone, the baggage can be too much. You can be strained financially. You can be strained in terms of relationships. So it's better to have a partner who can, yes, they can bring money, but then also they could motivate you in case things become tough. And yes, I was lucky to get a partner, so we were able to share the costs. But then also, I was able to get the right people for the job.
Okay.
Yeah, I have very good people that I work with, so it helps me with the confidence. I'm able to be confident that the systems I set up in place are working.
So if you are able to get the good team, you
Yes.
didn't get any difficulty in recruiting them, or when getting them, the way they're already there, you knew them, or they just came and then you were able to work with them. How did you get them?
Most of them were working with me at the bakery business, the gooseberry bakery. So I transferred most of them to the restaurant because I realized they were good people to work with. Then we also hired a few people and we trained them. You know, I realized that most of the Ugandans don't want to hire people. Yet people are crying that there are no jobs.
There are no jobs.
If entrepreneurs went ahead and hired people and stopped doing all the work themselves, businesses would be more sustainable because you will not be worn out. You will not lose hope easily because you realize you have all these people who are working with you, and you'll have created jobs for the people. So you have a business that is sustainable and you've created jobs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. So you, in that process of you recruiting the few that you got and those ones you transferred, you didn't face any challenge with them. What are your standards that you laid to them that helped you to move with them up to date?
I honestly believe that a business is only as good as its owner. So if an owner is sees themselves or takes themselves to be at a certain standard, that is the kind of people he will hire. That's the kind of setup he will do for the business. Those are the kind of standards that will be set for the food or for the product they're trying to sell or the service they're trying to sell. So what I did, I trained these people to replicate me. Like the person at the counter, what should they do for them to be at the same level I would be if I were the one at the counter? The person in the kitchen, how good would they need to be for them to get to a point where it was as if I was the one in the kitchen? So the same has been like that for the different positions in the restaurant, and I'm glad we have been able to achieve that with some time.
Okay, that's good. So what makes your business unique within the area? Because I believe everyone sells chapatis. So what makes it unique? What is that uniqueness that anyone can run to Peeps Chapatis just for a chapati?
Yeah, it's mostly high quality food. Our food is very high quality. We set out to get the best materials for our food. We prepare the food using clean energy. We use gas and electricity. We don't bother with charcoal. So it this added um, this this continuity in upholding our standards has helped us achieve a high quality product. So yes, our materials are good. The workers know what they are doing. We prepare it using high quality energy, which is gas and electricity, without that steam. And so yeah, it is it is good.
Okay, so according to the dishes you have talked about, how did you create your menu? What process did it take you to create that menu that when someone comes, besides the chapatis, those other things that you have added in, the variety of the chapati dishes, how did you come about with that menu?
For the menu, since it's a fast food restaurant, I considered the foods that are prepared quickly. So in the morning, we wake up very early, prepare the pilau, prepare the white rice, and we make sure it's available for the customers. The fries are chopped and made ready for the customers. So when an order comes, we are sure that within 10 minutes, the customer will be able to get that food. So the basis was how fast can a food be prepared, and so we had to come up with the different items on the menu, and for the pricing, we had to consider the kind of standards we want to uphold. So if you want to use high quality materials, do not expect to sell your food very cheaply, because it will not make a business sense. You are expected to also set the pricing, set the pricing basing on the standards of the food.
Okay. Okay, that's interesting. That is very interesting. So, what is your most popular dish, and why do you think people love it the most?
Since it's a chapati business, our most popular dish is actually chapati and liver. Because our liver is very good, our chapatis are soft, so people love the combination. But besides that, chips and chicken and pilau and chicken are also very famous, and our chicken is pan fried, so you can imagine how good it looks and how tasty it is, with all these vegetables and the barbecue sauce. It's really a blend of flavors, so it is also people's favorite.
Okay, I think I should also try out that one day.
Yeah, you should.
Okay, so how do you maintain the consistency in the quality and the preparation and so on? How do you maintain that consistency?
One of the ways we have chosen to use machinery, really, because if you try to be manual in each and everything, it is very hard to keep up the standards. For example, using gas to prepare the chapati, you are sure of the heat, you are sure of how ready it will be in which time. You're able to predict the times. And also we get our foods, our raw materials, from the same suppliers, so we sought suppliers and we chose the ones that will give us the quality that we want. And then also we have our SOPs, our standard operating procedures. So in those procedures, we have all the recipes that we use. So every person who is working with us is expected to uphold to those standards. And even when they're preparing food, they're expected to follow the recipes that are in the SOPs.
Okay, that maintains the quality and the service.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. Now, what strategies have you worked on every time to maintain your restaurant, the best growth of the restaurant? What strategies have you cut across to grow the restaurant?
Again, it has been the quality of our food.
Oh, the quality of
Yes,
the food.
so
Okay.
because when a customer buys a chapati and it is soft, it has good flavor, the vegetables they used are fresh, they taste it and they come back. But of course, it also involves creating a beautiful restaurant. The interior designing was good, and also our service is quick. So a person knows that within 10 minutes they'll have received their order. So those things keep the customers coming. And also, of course, marketing. Someone shouldn't forget marketing, because it is what actually grows the business. Yes, you might have a good product, but if you don't let people know about it, people people won't show up at the restaurant. Yes.
Okay. All right. So, what is your target market? Which kind of people do you want to come in your restaurant? Because I believe not everyone can manage, but what is your target market?
My target market is mostly the employed Ugandan. The Ugandan who is actually working, gets up early in the morning, goes to work. Those are mostly the people that we are trying to attract. That's why I think it also explains our spikes in the customers. Usually in the mornings and in the evenings when they're going to work and after work. But of course, we are working on new combos that will also be able to attract students because our market will be the working class and the students. So we are working on new combos that will attract also the students.
Okay.
On new combos that will attract also the students.
Okay. You should bring them out. Never know there are students who are waiting
Yeah,
to
they'll
test
love
those
it.
combos. So, what advice would you give someone who wants to start a business, their own restaurant maybe? What advice could you, according to what you have gone through, maybe there's someone out there who want to start their own restaurant, what advice could you give them?
About business generally, I believe there are some people who are gifted with that energy of entrepreneurship. When to them, they started, like they had that mindset of business from early on. Then there are those others that had to actually learn. Now, I can say that I'm among those people who have learned. I wasn't born an entrepreneur.
And you started something very
Very
different.
different. So I can say I've been among those people who have actually gone ahead and learned these things. I taught myself how to do these things, read a lot about marketing, about accounting, about like so many books about how to start a business. So I had to actually go ahead and do something about it. But my advice to anyone who wants to do a restaurant, they should not try to do everything. You see, there are some people who set up restaurants and they start confusing people. You create a restaurant that has chikomando, chips, and chicken, and then you bring in luombo. So you try to confuse people. Now, what are you selling? Traditional food or fast food? Is it a fast food restaurant or it's fine dining? Like what exactly are you trying to reach out to? Like is it like which crowd are you trying to reach out to? And so basically, you're supposed to choose whether you're going to have what is it called? Is it a traditional? No, continental. You can choose whether you're going to have a continental restaurant. For example, Middle East restaurant is targeting a certain group of people, so it's basically selling food for the people in the Middle East. Mostly, like the recipes are attuned to those people. And so you can set up a continental restaurant, you can set up the seats are so comfortable, the menu is wide, the food is specific. So yeah, you need to be specific and you know who you're targeting. So do not try to do everything. You will confuse people and they won't show up. Then another thing, again, people need to be open to hiring people. You cannot build a successful business without working with people. Hire the right people who will help you build that dream, because it takes time, so it needs to be built, and you can't do it alone. Trying to do it alone is easy to fail. Yeah.
Okay, that's encouraging.
And of course, another thing, the last thing about the restaurant, the major thing, location.
Okay.
Location. If you do not choose the most perfect location for your restaurant, there's a very high chance that you will close. And the easy way is really always choosing rental properties that are on street level. Do not try to take your restaurant up this, like maybe find a second floor or something. You don't do that. Always choose the street level floor.
That is easily accessible.
Easily accessible, and people can actually see what's going on. Yeah.
Okay. So how do you ensure a memorable experience with your customers?
We try to actually have a conversation with them. When they come in, we do not just offer them food. They come in and we talk with them, converse with them, come up with the items that they want on the menu, and we make sure I bring their food on time. So it's a whole experience.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Have you seen any trend in the food industry around, and have you tried to adopt it and something of that sort?
A trend. I can't seem to think of one, but we are always trying to be a step ahead. Always trying to be a step ahead. For example, something basic like making payments. When you look at very many restaurants, they don't have that option of easy payments. Airtel Pay, Momo Pay, Visa card. Most people do not have that ease in payment. So for us, we always try to be extra with each and everything. But then for the trend, what I can say is that maybe so many people are setting up restaurants, and most of them, it seems they don't know why they're setting up restaurants. When they hear that there's someone earning some money from restaurant, they think it's that easy. But it is continuous. It's a daily thing. You are expected to produce high quality food, great service every single day of the year. No no offs. Yeah.
Okay. How important is social media to your business, to your restaurant, and how do you use it?
For social media, it's very important because these days it seems everyone is online all the time. So what we do, we try to create videos that we post on Instagram, that we post on TikTok, that people can be able to see our process of making the foods. We try to market our menu on the different social media platforms, so that people can know the pricing of our things and how and how we coordinate our day-to-day activities. So we make sure people see, and it is usually the basis for them to actually come and support us, to come and test our food, and also experience the same as they have seen on social media.
Okay, so as we keep on moving, have you faced the toughest challenge throughout when you are running the business, and how did you handle it in case you faced one?
What I can say is that if you have been able to figure out the business you want to do, where you want to put it, you've been able to figure out the designs, the products or service you're going to sell, you need to have a source of income. Because businesses do not exactly make money in the first month. It takes time. And what I've realized is that most Ugandans do not have that money to actually keep up, to wait for the customers to get used to their product, to their location. So I can say it takes about between 1 and 3 years. So at least someone should have it in mind that the business might not make the profits that you want in the first year. So you are expected to keep on reinvesting each and every time, and you have to keep on doing it until it starts being profitable. Because if you believe in your idea enough, you should be willing to actually wait for that time to come. So you need an extra source of income, and we were lucky to have also the Gooseberry Bakery, and it has been instrumental in refinancing the restaurant every time the profits are low for the month. Yes.
Yeah, I was about to ask you, earlier you had said it is the restaurant is your source of income, and now you are saying that you need to have another source of income. Good enough, you have already answered before I asked.
Because somehow it's easy to ignore the fact that you won't make profits right away.
Yes.
So it's better to use less money to start. If, for example, you have planned 1 million shillings to start something, it's better to use 300,000 to start it, and you save up the 700, rather than you using up 900,000 and you have only 100,000 left over. So if you don't have a source of money on the side to help you refinance that business for some time until the customers get used to the location, get used to the product or service. You need to use the least amount of money to start your restaurant or your business so that you can have some left over to push you through the first year.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, what lesson have you learned so far that surprised you from your restaurant?
The lesson, I can say the lesson is more of person already. I have come to learn that if I didn't think that I was special before, I need to, like, I believe it now that I am in such a way that business bombards you with different challenges every single day. Probably there's a problem with electricity, there's a problem with the plumbing, the payments of suppliers. So it's all these challenges that come up every single day, and you're expected to come up with solutions. So the mere fact that you have been able to go through them, it's no surprise that you are seen, and you are actually special if you're out there and you are running a business, and it's not just 1 month or two, but you've been doing it for some time. I applaud you out there for having the courage to go ahead and start and push through the journey of entrepreneurship.
Okay. How do you handle customer feedback, both positive and negative?
Customer feedback has been so important in helping us curate all these items on our menu, because we earlier on we had some items that were not perfectly made, but because of the feedback of the customers, they told us what they wanted, and we're able to adjust those food items to fit their tastes. And the positive feedback, what it means for us is that we actually go ahead and do more of the things that they have commended us for. Yes.
Okay. How did you establish the brand identity, the brand,
Name.
yes, the brand of the business to the outside world?
Um, that's a difficult question, but uh, basically it's about what I wanted to do. I wanted to do a fast food restaurant, so I came up with a name that sounded good for that business. I
Okay.
actually created the name. It didn't really exist anywhere. And the logo, we had to hire a graphics designer to do it, because if you, again, go ahead and try to do it yourself, you might not bring it out the way you think. Some people try to go ahead and do everything on their own, so they end up blundering. So it's better to have all these people on board. So we had to hire a graphics designer to come up with the logo that fits into our goals, our vision, because we have a very big vision for Peeps Chapatis, a vision as big or even bigger than KFC.
You should keep that vision to yourself before it comes out. Otherwise, people may steal it and use it for their own businesses. So, what role does the word of mouth speak for your restaurant?
I would suggest people to do that. Well, it's like the most sustainable form of marketing. When you do like when you offer good service, good customer service to a customer, and they go ahead and tell their friend, you can always be sure that that friend will actually come and support you too. So the best way to utilize that word of mouth is by producing the best service that you can to this customer, who will go ahead and actually spread the gospel to their friends.
Okay, so basically, you just have to tell them how good your services are, and then they will also go and tell another person.
No, produce
produce the
produce the good service. You don't
okay.
just tell them, because you might tell them something and it's not true. So you actually produce the good service that is expected, and they will use that to actually go and tell
the others.
their friends and family.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you said you also go online, talk about the restaurant online in all social media platforms. So about their reviews, how are they important? How useful are they? And how do you do with them? How do you deal with those reviews on social media about the restaurant from your customers?
The reviews so far have been good, actually. People love how clean our process is. They love the fact that we deliver the food. They love the fact that we show them the process of preparing our food. So that feedback helps us know that we are doing something right. And whatever we aren't doing right, we still try to correct it.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. It's hard. It's the first time for me to hear someone saying the views were so good.
Yeah.
I don't know
We
whether
strive for perfection.
everyone does the same thing. Okay. What are your plans for the future for the restaurant? Which plans do you have?
The plans that we have, our nearby plans, like soon, we are going to establish combos and deals for customers, because there have been a lot of requests on social media and from our customers about introducing different combos and deals. So we are going to do that soon enough. But then in the near future, we shall have to establish other branches depending on the demand of the customers. So